Good morning. I'm eating my gourmet breakfast. Now, some of you guys may not think this is a gourmet breakfast. What is a gourmet breakfast to you? Maybe it's a sausage and eggs, the way how you like to cook. Hash brown. Maybe it's a breakfast burrito, pancake, French toast, waffles with all the toppings. Well, my gourmet breakfast is something that I feel very, very comfortable eating, which I grew up eating, which is rice. So I'm eating, I'll show you. First of all, I have some rice in here. And then I have tofu. I love it. And spinach. Now, some of you guys are saying, that's not even a breakfast. Like, ugh, I hate that. Those of you guys don't like to eat breakfast for period. It's like, I wouldn't even eat that. I'd rather go starve than eating that kind of food for breakfast. Or that's not my gourmet breakfast. Everybody has a different ideas about gourmet breakfast, right? Or just even a simple breakfast. So I'm having a tofu and spinach soup with the rice. Now, I know a lot of Asian people, Asian friends out there might resonate with me. It's like, we eat this like 3 times a day, right? My soup is kind of cold. I heat it up twice. The reason is because I decided to do a video to share my gourmet breakfast. Well, I wanted to make sure like my background of my video is not cluttered. Like, so putting away my leftovers that I took out from the fridge. And so by the time I clean that up, just like putting things away, what I took out from the fridge to have leftovers. Because this is leftover from yesterday's lunch. And I love leftovers. I don't know how many of you guys love to eat leftovers. I do. And then I also drink like a ginseng tea. So you could call this like a healthy meal. I know once in a while I have to eat junk food to offset the healthy food that I eat. But anyway, so I drink my ginseng tea every day with breakfast. Yeah, that's good. It's healthy for you. So if you guys are like vegans or vegetarians, this is a perfect thing to eat. Rice, tofu, and a spinach. If you don't want to have any carbs, then just take out the rice. But I used to eat like a whole pot of rice by myself over 2 days. Or my girlfriend and I, we could eat a whole pot of rice like in one sitting. That's like 4 or 5 cups of rice cooked. So that's a lot. But as I'm getting older and, had like 4 kids and trying to watch my weight, because it's always challenging to stay in shape as we get older. So I'm just only having like 1/3 cup of rice. This way, I'm not depriving myself from not eating rice. And when it comes to soup, I eat more than 1/3 cup just because, there's nothing fattening about that. Tofu is really good for you. I love tofu. And the spinach is really good. Now, my earlier life, I never got to taste tofu. Tofu is something, it's very expensive. Nowadays, it's like $1.99. It used to be $1.09, but now it's like $1.99, $1.54 if you could find it on sale. Or some places, like you pay $2 for this little square of tofu. found in like vegetable area. And sometimes like when you fry this tofu, it's good, but it is not as healthy. So I like to put my tofu in a soup, or I could just like fry it with olive oil instead of butter. But I feel rich being able to eat tofu whenever I want, at any time I want. And see this metal chopsticks? This also represents, to me, not to all of you guys, but to me, this represents richness. Because with the designs, right? Because like sometimes like we use a wooden chopsticks, and I know when you go to restaurants and they give you disposable wooden chopsticks, but that doesn't mean that the restaurant is poor. It's just the convenience, and it's trying to keep restaurants clean, to give like a disposable chopstick so that you could just eat and throw it away. But I have a wood chopsticks that I use to cook, so I don't scratch the surfaces on the pan by using the wood chopsticks instead of metal. But I always go out of my way to use my metal chopsticks to let me know, that reminds me how far I have come, that I'm living a true dream life, being able to use my metal chopsticks. Look at this. I could even pick up like a little teeny rice. Now, if you want to go on a diet, you could go on a Asian food diet, and just the serving sizes, you can't eat too much because, you know, rice has a lot of carb. But I dated a guy before I got married, and he loved Korean food because I was able to cook for him and stuff, and he adopted eating Korean food. And like he even bought like a Korean table. It sits very, very low. This is American table, so I'm sitting on a chair, but he bought a low Korean, traditional Korean table, and he was sitting on the floor, and he ate, as long as we dated, I don't know, for about 6 months or 9 months, and he ate nothing but Korean food. I mean, no, he would sneak in, you know, American food here and there, but mostly he ate Korean food. And he lost about 50 pounds. And I was like, he was so happy because he was trying to lose weight, but he didn't mean to lose weight eating Korean food. He just loved Korean food so much that he learned to eat that. Because we don't eat a lot of greasy food. We eat a lot of vegetables and fish, beef and chicken, and pork. But anyway, so he just stopped at that. I was like jealous because I wanted to lose 50 pounds. You know, it's like, I eat this kind of food all the time. Why can't I lose that? You know, that kind of weight. But, if I was to lose 50 pounds, I wouldn't look good. I would look like a very unhealthy, underweight, like looking like a skeleton. But it works differently. So I'm not saying 100% that if you eat Korean food, you're going to lose 50 pounds. I'm not saying that. But I just know one of my boyfriends that I dated. So this really is a very, very comfort food for me. And I call this my gourmet breakfast because I rather eat rice and healthy food like this than to eat like, you know, greasy bacon and sausage and things like that. But I do eat a lot of American food. I love to cook, so I eat a lot of variety of different foods. So when I was in Korea for one whole year in 2018, when we went to visit, and I thought I would never say this or realizing it, but when we were there for a whole month, like I didn't bring all my ingredients. Of course, we could have bought it, but I didn't want to buy all that stuff and then like leaving it there, wasting money, because I knew that I was going to stay there for 1 month. So My husband and I, and then my son, teenage son, went. And every day, like, I had opportunity to eat rice. And I did that for like 3 or 4 days in a row for breakfast. And then for lunch and dinner, like I ate rice and I got sick of it. And I thought to myself, I can't believe that I'm actually saying that I'm sick of eating rice for breakfast. Because in America, because I lived here for a long time, and I thought, I can make pancake, I can make hash brown and eggs, a sausage, egg McMuffins, French toast, waffles. I mean, like all kinds of fun things that I can, like crepes and things like that. But there, like I said, I didn't know, we bought a few boxes of cereal for my son to have because, he doesn't really care too much about rice. He does like rice, but not as much as me. But I thought, oh my gosh, here I am in Korea. I get to eat rice all I want for like 3 meals a day, like I was used to before I came to America many years ago. I didn't know the difference. But having living in United States, having chance to eat a variety of different types of food that I could make, and then gone there for a month, eating rice like for every day for 3 times, that was a bit too much for me. So I said, oh man, I'm sick of eating rice because I had a opportunity to live different country, living different lifestyle, where there's so many different variety of breakfast that I could eat instead of just rice. In Korea, you eat rice with the soup or different things. It's not always like the spinach soup, but there's a bean sprout soups. I love soups. Like I could eat soup like every day, at least one soup meal a day, even though it's the middle of hot summer. I'm very different. And when I used to work at the corporate world and I would just drink hot water in the middle of the summer, they're like, oh my gosh, how can you stand to, drink hot water? Because I like it. A lot of times, like workplaces or restaurants or movie theaters, they turn on their air conditioner so high because they're trying to meet the temperature for everybody, not just for, people that are extra warm or extra cold. It's just, they do it. And it gets so cold, and like I ended up wearing sweaters. And so drinking hot water at workplaces, I loved it. So until next time, I'm just gonna finish my gourmet soup. So good. That was my ginseng tea. I'll see you at my next video. Have a great day.